Welcome to Carl DeGregorio's Session28. And this is on the heels of the first time this has occurred. 28th episode. I failed to find the record button. And this would be take 2 of probably a 20-minute harangue. And maybe that's just as well. I got one in the chamber, and it died in space. It died in the ether. It was not recorded. It was not. It was a technical error, a human technical error. I took a picture of a volcano with the lens cap on. Not saying that my previous out in the middle of the air monologue with no one to listen to or to hear the results of was equivalent to the grandeur and nature and stunningness of an eruption of a volcano. But I'm just saying I fucked up and I didn't record. And when I went to shut it all down and label it, I hit, label, and I hit enter, and then it saved, and then I had a 32-second clip, which was me, instead of what I thought was shutting it down, I was starting. And so now I have to learn a hard lesson, one that will not be the last. But what was I talking about the 28th? I don't even know if I want to try to regurgitate that. I don't know. The tree falls in a forest, right? If a tree falls in a forest, does anybody hear it? And I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I think the answer is, yeah, the noise is made. Does anybody hear it is different than is there a noise? So any passerby or some kind of gnat or bug, if they heard noise coming out of this unit in the world, but it is no longer, the tree fell and nobody heard it. So here we are at 28, and I guess if I had a run at an idea or a dry run or a rehearsal for making it thematic, I guess the issue is I'm running behind. I'm way behind the 8 ball on this one, and there are personal reasons and a lot to learn from that I should have record more than one, but that they're not real-time things, that you can stack them and then release them, and that's something to think about. But also there's other reasons, and there's a life that goes on between these things. And I was talking last week about 27 and why it's so in numerology. I guess it's because if you add it together, it's 9, and 9 is a big thing because it's the last of a single digit, and then 10, and I spoke about in the previous monologue to the void was not being reactive to journalism or entertainment that is very oftentimes ill-conceived or conceived to be easy to digest, i.e. listicles, i.e. articles about the 30 most influential people under 30 or 40 or, sexy at 50. I don't know what the fuck those articles are intended to do, but what inevitably they do to someone like me is they make you feel like you're falling short. And in my chosen field, that is way too easy to do. And so there's a reason I'm behind the 8 ball and doing 28 on the fly, and it's silly, but it's also what's the case. And so now I've actually further complicated it because I'm now a half hour behind because I have to upload it, and the big grand scheme of things is nobody gives a shit. It is an anonymous, and nobody watches, so why, no one cares, so why should I? But it's my own standard, my own wish to keep the cycle going, the streak going. It's the reason I'm trying to do this. And now I am literally sitting here because I had a window of time to get things done, and now I'm behind that. And now I'm thinking about missing a phone call. And now I'm thinking about, is it going to be too late to catch up with this person because I forgot to do this early? But there's a reason why, and I don't want to share that. And the thing is, we lament people dying at 27 because what? We didn't get the next Jimi Hendrix album, right? Or Amy Winehouse album. But what I was talking about in this Phantom 28th episode was, sort of reasserting how important the arts are to me. Yes, we need more STEM degrees, right? And all the people on the internet talking about finances and student debt and things like that say don't get a useless degree. And as someone with a useless degree, quote unquote, I agree to a degree. And, my whole thing is there's no romance without finance, right? So if you can afford to get an impractical degree because of stature or family funding or whatever it might be, and somehow you got a great way to make a living and you can get that useless degree and it works out, then great for you. But, the old ethic of the well-rounded person was to study the arts and the sciences. So we've lost that because of economics and what's really out there going on. And I'm just trying to move past self-defeating thoughts of inadequacy just because I've read and digested a lot of material, and that can do a doozy on your head, and I want to guard against that. And when I was younger, when the newspaper came, this is funny. I'm going to stop right now. I'm trying to go through my mind to remember the fucking dope shit I was saying that I was hoping would be recorded so that the dope shit would be recorded for posterity, and it's gone. And the urgency to get this done and the panic to finish and to not fuck up and then to also keep an appointment has now depleted my thought processes. And now I'm trying to regurgitate something that's gone, which is a great acting lesson, right? You can't go back. You can't go back. You have to be in the moment. I can't talk about the dumb shit I just talked about because now my mind is in a whole different place. Now I'm racing to put enough clicks on the timer here to have an adequate attempt at episode 28. The whole point of delaying wasn't a true procrastination. It was a personal reason, and it's put me behind the eight ball, and it's made it less effective what I can contemplate, what I can bring to this today. And then that 20-minute passionate speech that has gone to the ether has depleted me, and I guess that's the lesson. With youth, you have excess of energy, and I'm not bemoaning my youth or lamenting my spent youth. I'm just saying that I finally understand that I was burning energy for no reason, and now I have to understand what's left in the tank, what I need to prepare, how far in advance things have to be. One day I'll explain why I couldn't get this done. My tape day was Saturday. I had time to do it. But 28 being less important than 27 because of a hook I had for the content of the desk session that week. What I mean to say is, things are in process, and it doesn't stop on a dime because you need it to. That's for stories. That's for when interest on an account comes due, it does click at a certain point, but that's not how we live. And the thing about the digital age is, we think we lost analog because of the digital age, but what we're forgetting is that there was analog and human, and one was a technology and how things were sort of recorded, but there was still the voice needed to be laid out onto the analog version of things. And there are the nerds who say that analog had more feel and that digital is dead and tinny or lacks bass or whatever. And it all wasn't human. It was recordings of human. It was approximations of human things, and we're getting further away from that. And I have human limitations, as do you, and the digital world will never have that problem. And so I think that's the fear of technology, is that they want to, when they say they want to replace us, it's not so much that. It's just that certain people want to take the human element out of things, because then that can make financial gain easier for them, And I get it. I want my life to get easier, but I also, maybe I don't. Maybe I want it to be difficult, but not difficult, but I want it to be fulfilling and challenging, and I don't know. This is where I guess the point of 28 now is because of the complete fuck up of pressing record. I am now losing composure to finish this and to get back what was lost. And that's an energy that makes you less fluid. That's why I hurt myself. I was in a agitated state, and maybe it was just time for that tendon to go. And I'm not saying it wouldn't have been a time bomb waiting to go off, and that I wouldn't have finessed or recuperated that tendon if I didn't hurt it. So it was probably inevitable, but it didn't have to go down that way. And this session is lost, but I am making an attempt, and I guess that's what I'm going to have to leave you with, is a lot goes into even just sitting in front of this laptop and trying to keep the desk session going. And so that kind of loss is it just was a thing that I got done, and I was glad to have accomplished it. And then to find out I had a technical error, which is the sin of all sins. The major difficulty is not paying attention to the fucking little stuff, which is why ultimately you can automate stuff, but even that will be fallible. So let's remember that all is not lost until you give up. All is not lost if it can be fixed or reshot or redone. But the perishable nature of life is why we lament the loss of 27-year-old artists, or any age. But I'm just going to try to remember to move forward. And man, this is trippy. I'm having almost like a some kind of shutdown element, because really I'm just mad at myself, and you're seeing what it looks like if I was alone speaking into the ether, putting together some interesting ideas, and it didn't get recorded, and now I'm coming back, not a big tragedy, to do it again, to make sure I equal the amount of time I speak and all that stuff, and I can't get past how much I want to throw something or be mad at myself, and just look what that's doing, So maybe 28 is not going to be full of content because of me sharing that I made this mistake. But you can actually see and maybe recognize what it's like when you beat yourself up, when you let a mistake metastasize as a catastrophe, and you don't give yourself the grace to say, fuck it. If nobody cares, why should you? So as my energy depletes, and as I struggle to calm myself down from a silly mistake, frequently, I probably just the immensity of my self-involvement to not even be able to double check, because I don't have my contacts in. I have my glasses, which I take off and sort of stare into space. I don't have the contacts to see in the natural flow of things that I wasn't recording. So there's so much that you can do to yourself that doesn't help. And vanity could be one of them, And so I'm just going to, live to fight another day. I have made my appointment with myself and maybe with you. And moving forward, I'm going to give myself some grace. I'm going to try to stay on the good path. Progress is being made. And I feel like you've heard the things I spoke about, but you didn't, because I forgot to press record. And so I'm going to leave you with that. and leave you with, man, I was talking about poetry. I was talking about, I said, Langston Hughes. When does that come up on a vlog? It's like, but alas, to use a poetic sigh, alas, it's blowing in the wind, to quote another great poet, Bob Dylan. All right, that's Session 28. Carl DeGregorio signing off. Sorry for the meandering. Peace.